These guys are very sick.
What's happening to him? What's killing him?
I think it must be my music.
Alright, if you thought Halloween so far was a lot to get through, you're in for a big surprise. Alright, so let us begin. Seeing as how I last saw you, probably, I was been making of the headpiece. Now you'll see why I said what I said and wish I hadn't did what I did. But it kind of worked out about 50%. First of all, a little change of clothes, and I won't be needing this hair, so I could have either chopped it off, which honestly would have made it easier to put the headpiece on, but instead I put a wig cap on. Harder in the short term, more mentally stable in the long term. Ish. And then difficulties putting on the headpiece as so. Oh my god. Nope. Also, this is where you see why I took off the middle portion and how I remedied taking it off, which is a mix of liquid latex and scar wax, which I googled the name of instead of just going to the other room and looking at my container. Anyways, I made sure when applying this that I blended it into my upper nose skin area. That sounds weird, but pushed it up at the bottom to give the appearance of skin being raised, and then covered that in liquid latex to seal it. Waiting for that liquid latex to dry down, I continued on with the paint job, starting off with yellow and tapping the latex more often than than I needed to see if it was dry to the touch. For the mouth, I'm using a white water activated paint for the teeth. As well as a black to outline them, which may be the reason why I started to look so similar to salad fingers, but I digress. For the added coloration to my face, I'm using orange and then blending that out with my finger. Then the black to come in with the lips further to outline them. And add the outer portion using an almost bone shape. Finally, the latex was dry to the touch, so all the same steps that I'm about to use on the mouth area, I will also be using that on this area to better blend it in. But first, the yellow. And then the boning on the nose. This is when I realized I would be blending for basically the rest of my life, and simultaneously that I was giving you guys a middle finger, which I both apologize for and will also continue to do. I then used pink, blended that out the same. And then blue. Decided to also carry this down my neck, but with strictly the yellow and the orange. And then the other area that gave me the issue, being around the eyes, which I stated in my headpiece video that I wish I had brought the headpiece down further rather than out, and this is why. Though I thought how I painted my black would suffice, it did not. I also added more scar wax up my nose where I previously blended the last bit. Now finally, time for the last portion of this physical costume. I say physical because y'all saw the gun, and yes, I made that shit as well. But the neck piece was also a struggle to put on, as I live guys see, because honestly at the time it gave me claustrophobia, but now I can laugh at it, myself mostly. Especially considering one of the pieces fell off as I finally got it on. Let me tell you, I thought about not putting up this costume because of how many things went wrong during the process of it, but it took me so long, and I figured if you plan on doing something even remotely similar to this, there is now a video formatted tutorial for you guys to see, plus a bunch of tips of what not to do. As for the neck piece though, welcome. This is the one piece that everything didn't go wrong with. As a start, I picked these up from the dollar store, very cheap, and they come in about 1 million different sizes. I'm only exaggerating maybe a little bit. They're usually actually used as a foam roller for your hair to give it some curl, but obviously utilize them as something else during this. Anyways, I glued the hard pieces together with hot glue to start. Then eventually went over top of that with E6000 to give them both a better hold and still have them be pliable. Once that dried down, I used them to determine how big I want the top to be, the biggest portion to go. The best thing about starting off with these is that they've got a very small metal rod in them, so they are very bendable, very much so. Once I had my size, I am utilizing a roll of neoprene, is that how you say it? Foam. I got this from Amazon. It can be used to work out on, stretch on, but it's also frequently used as an item to make cosplay items out of, because it is foldable, lightweight, and easy to cut. Anyways, I sized out what I need to and traced, which I will be constantly doing because I will be painting this, so marker means absolutely nothing to me. Anyways, I cut out that circle shape. And hot glued the foam rollers to it. And hot glued the seams, which is going to be a theme in this video. You already know that the hot glue spider webs were insane. I used various household items to get the perfect circles that I needed, and again, trace them and cut them out. Measured one of the foam rollers because at this point I had already thrown out the package it came in that said the size and figured out how long I needed my middle portion to be by timesing just how many I had on. You obviously want the openings to match the openings on here, so turn you around. Oh my god. Figured out how far this would go down. The focus or idea behind this is that I want it to go like that. God, I feel like I'm on the Disney Channel. Hi, I'm Sarah and you're watching the Disney Channel. So right dead ass in the center is going to be here. I feel like I want to go maybe like 5 or 6 inches down. Luckily I have a bendy ruler, as well as the whole ass shape. There's the mark, like I said, about 5 inches down, a little bit over. I'm gonna say 5.5 inches, cool. With the next step, I hope you're still with me, please. Remember when I made the quote-unquote sideburns? Well, I also made these. Same idea, but instead of using the clay on the sides of them and adding texture, I used it on the top. And glued them down. Rewind back to when you see one of them fall off at the end. Use better glue than school glue, please. Once dried down, I painted them with the same silver paint as I did to the quote-unquote sideburns. I really gotta stop calling them that because I know that they aren't, but I don't know what else to call them. And then I used beer bottle caps, courtesy of my trash collecting ass and my dad's beer drinking ass. Thanks, Dad. Anyways, I've planned out where these would go, which gave me my inner circles, which again, household items make for good tracers. Cut that out. Plan the next cut out, drew one side of it, cut that out. I am so glad I have a visual representation for this because the words are confusing me. Flipped that over to be a mirror image, trace that out, and cut it out. Found the middle of that piece, the middle of my circle, and fit those together with hot glue. Hot glued the foam rollers on. This is where the bendiness really comes into play. Then that seamy thing with the seams. We're getting real technical over here. And that's what one looks like inside. That's literally it. Okay. And now finally adding every piece together. Hot glue, hot glue the seams, and it seems like we're done with that. Mother of God. That is so much fucking hot glue. Finally, time for the paint job. It's prime time! I'm using a black primer, specifically one meant for porous and pliable surfaces. Adding this to the top, letting it dry down. flipping it and adding it to the bottom. And then adding a gray spray paint over top of that. 2 layers of it, I think, maybe 3. Last step, I promise. Adding on those bottle caps with hot glue, all of them. That is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this last portion of the physical costume.